We're now on Daf Lamed Daled Amud Beis. Itzrich. Rava says the reason why I have a Hamamina that women are obligated in Sukkah, despite the fact that it's man gromas hakatayt chamina neil chamisha sar michagamatzos ma'ala hal noshim chayavos afkan noshim chayavos tzricha. Women are obligated in matzah because of the equation between matzah and the Isur Chametz. Once women are obligated in matzah, therefore, ipso facto, women should be obligated in sukkah because of the Gzera Shava Tesvav Tesvav. And therefore, I need a special pasuk called Ezrach to exempt women from sukkah. Affecting Mavarei Re'iyah is a mitzvah of Lehiros for based on Migdash Lahakar Volos Re'iyah Shalosh Regolim. The mitzvah says Shman Gromehi. And the reason why women are exempt from Re'iyah is time of the cost of Rachmani Yerakol Sechurcha. And we dash in lahotzi anoshin. If it didn't say Yerakol Sechurcha as a special meat to exclude women, noshim chayavos. Why? We're talking about a mitzvah shel shalosh regolim. That's a classic mitzvah seishman gromitzu. Salke dait ramina neilef re'iyah mehakel. Women are obligated in the mitzvah of hakel because it says in the Torah, we read it yesterday, hakel sa'am ha'noshim va'noshim va'taf. So noshim are explicitly written in the pasuk there, including the obligation of hakel. And we would have therefore said that in terms of re'iyah, women are obligated in re'iyah the same way they're obligated in hakel. And therefore, I need the pasuk Yerakol Sechurcha to exclude women from the mitzvah of Re'iyah. Now, you have to add one other point here to understand the Havamin of deriving Re'iyah from Hakel, that women are obligated in Re'iyah. It's because in the pasuk, in Dvarim Lamed Aleph, pasuk Yud Aleph, it says, Bevo Kol Yisrael Leiros. And in the midst of Hakel, which is written right there. Just one second. Where's the pasuk of Hakel? Yeah, in the same actually the very next pasuk in Dvarim Lamed Aleph, women are obligated in Hakel. Affecting Gemara, v'adi alfina mitfilin leptura. You're using tefillin as the paradigmic source for the p'tur of women bisman growing neilif misimcha. Why not say that just like women are obligated in simcha, despite the fact that it says man grama l'chiyuva, we should say that women are obligated in all mitzvahs seishas man grama. What are we going to do with tefillin? I don't know. Oh, just like what we were saying before by sukkah. The Gemara in the name of Abai is saying this by simcha, that women are not obligated independently of simcha. They are only obligated in simcha as part of the chiyuv to facilitate the obligation of the man. Well, almana ma'ikal me'im. What are you going to say about a woman who's not married? In fact, the pasuk says, "V'samach l'fnei Hashem l'kecha atah hayasom v'almana asher b'kirbecha." So that must be an obligation that devolves upon the almana herself. And the Gemara answers, "B'shruya etzlo." You're right. There's no chiyuv on an almana. She doesn't have an independent obligation of simcha, because women are exempt from Zman Groma. However, when we're talking about a poor woman and she's supported or adopted, so to speak, by family, so then she becomes like the Bnei Mishpacha, and the Torah commands her in the obligation of Simcha. Why don't we use Hakel as a paradigmic case that women are obligated in Mitzvah Seishman Groma? We derived from chametz that women are obligated in matzah, and from the pasuk of noshim, we derive that women are obligated in hakel, and we have a rule that shnei ksuma b'am kechem melamdin. V'chol shnei ksuma b'am melamdin, and that's the bottom line. Hihachi fek the Gemara tefillin u're'iyah nami. Well, what about re'iyah? We said that the Torah excludes women from Re'iyah because it has called Zchurcha. Is now again we have Shnei Ksua B'Am Kechad V'Yein Malamdin. So how do we say that tefillin is going to be the source for the exemption of women from time-bound mitzvahs when we have tefillin and Re'iyah? It's Tzricha. We only apply the principle of Shnei Ksua B'Am Kechad Ein malamdin, if we have an extra, if it's a superfluous second pasuk. But if we need the second pasuk, then we don't apply the principle of ein malamdin, the e kasav rachmana. If the Torah had only said tefillin below kasav re'iyah, hava mina nelif re'iyah mehaket. So we need the pasuk by re'iyah so that we don't derive a chiyuv nashim re'iyah from haket. The e kasav rachmana re'iyah. And not only that, it's a two-way street. Both tefillin are necessary, as well as re'iyah. Because if it only said re'iyah, v'lo chasav tefillin, hava mina akish tefillin mezuzah. We have a hekesh in the psukim, as we discussed early on Daf Lamed Daled Nominal, between tefillin and mezuzah, and women are obligated in mezuzah, and therefore I might think that women are obligated in tefillin. And therefore the Torah had to write the P'tur Nashim, both in tefillin and in re'iyah. If this be the case, matzav hakel nami tzrichi. Now, if you're going to tell me that in two cases of zman groma, we have a chiyuv of women, like for example, hakel, which is zman groma, and yet women are obligated, and matzah is zman groma, women are obligated. So now we should say that we need both psukim. And if we need both psukim, what's the most kasha? Nami tzrifi. We need both psukim.
Are they saying we need, from both psukim, we would say that all mitzvahs, they should be obligated and all time bound, like in all mitzvahs says one grama?
Right. In other words, the principle of shnei ksuma bon ke'echad ein malamdin doesn't apply in tzrichi, and therefore, if it's ein malamdin but it's tzrichi, then it becomes malamdin. And then we should derive from matzah and hakel that women are obligated to mitzvah seishas man gromel l'mayt tzrifi. Bishleim because of rachmana hakel v'lokos of matzah v'minin el chamishasar michagas sukkos. It's just like women are exempt from sukkah because there's ha'ezra. So too women are exempt from matzah. So I definitely need the pasuk telling me and establishing the chiyuv of women in matzah. El nitzav rachmana matzah, and then lo boy hakel. And then from matzah we derive that women are obligated in hakel. So Gemara answers Anan, Amina, Folim chayovim, Noshim lo kolshke. The answer is that if children, tinokos are chayav, and that's what it says taf, then certainly women. Hilkoch, havilu shnei ksumavon kechavi ein malamdin. So in other words, what the Gemara is saying is that there's no need for the Torah to obligate women. We would derive from Kavachomer from Tfolim, and therefore, since that pasuk is superfluous, then we apply the principle of Shnei Ksuma Bon Kechavei Malamdin. Hani Chalaman Diomer Malamdin, Elaman Diomar Malamdin, Michael Meimar. There is a man Diomer who holds that Shnei Ksuma Bon Kechav form a Bamematzinu. And we derive conclusions from two psukim, even if they're not necessary. And we're going to see a Gemara later on in Daf Lamed Hey, who exactly holds that. And now, we're back to the original kasha. Let's derive from these two psukim of Hakel and Matzah that women are obligated. Vesu, and furthermore, I have to ask you, Mitzvah Seishalo is mine gromenosh vayos minon. How do you know that if it's not a time-bound mitzvah like mezuzah, that women are obligated to yolif mimora? The Gemara answers we could derive that from mora. It says ish imo v'aviv tiro, so the women are explicitly included in the mitzvah of mora. And ma mora noshim chayovos, and mora is not a mitzvah seishlos my grama, it's shalos my grama, and women are obligated. I've called mitzvah seishlos my grama noshim chayovos v'neilut mitalmud Torah. Why don't we derive the opposite conclusion that here's a mitzvah seishen as my grama, women are exempt? Mishum dahavile Torah Talmud Torah V'Rivish Neksuma Bam Keechad Chol Shei Ksuma Bam Keechad Malan